The Baseball Together Network presents the Seattle Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Jewell Young. And now, Seattle Baseball Together.
Welcome to the first episode of this season for the Seattle Baseball Together podcast, Baseball Family. I am your host. I am Brad, or Blackjack Brad, as some of you may know me. This month, instead of joining us on the couch, and actually for the rest of the season, our friend Jewell, our good friend Jewell from last season, you might remember him, is actually going to be joining me full-time as your new co-host. Welcome, Jewell. Welcome to the show.
What up, baseball family? Jewell here, a.k.a. Ball Boy.
The ball boy of the ball boy blog. That's how they know I'm hot on the streets, as the ball boy. But we're going to go through. We know that there's no baseball right now. There is still no baseball, which is a problematic. We don't know how long it's going to be before we do get baseball again. I am much more pessimistic today than I was even 3 days ago, Jewell. I'll be honest.
Same here. I was optimistic up until they pushed spring back 3 more days.
And see, I was still even a little bit more optimistic after that. I think it was everything that went down on Saturday or even Friday. I was like, nope.
Yeah, between Friday, Saturday, 100% kind of threw me off. And then, I started seeing it popping up. Like, realistically, we're probably looking May 1st right now. Unless there's like because they want 4 weeks of spring training. Because they don't want to do a 3-week accelerated summer camp again.
Yeah, because that wasn't good for anybody, let's be honest.
No.
And, Mike Snicker of the Braves, he said that spring training is pretty useless anyway. And, he might be right. It might be a couple of those weeks might be more for the fans, and I get that. But at the same time, though, you do need to have time to ramp up to get your guys ready, especially the pitchers, get them ready for the season. But we wanted to go ahead and get started this season on the podcast today, this month, beginning of March, because, honestly, this is a year that Mariners fans can be pretty optimistic. I feel like regardless of the length of the season, as long as there's baseball, the Mariners are going to have a good team and fans can actually be optimistic without being, what's the word I'm looking for here, without being delusional.
Yes.
Right?
No, 100%. I think there's probable cause for Mariners fans for the first time in 2 decades to actually believe that this team can make a playoff run. Unlike when they brought in Robinson Cano.
Don't you know?
It's legit this time. There's a clear path forward in the division. I already know they're going to get the negative Vegas odds where they're going to finish 3rd or 4th just because of what Texas has done. And
the
LA
Angels,
getting
for some
healthy.
reason, so Jewell, we talked about this last week on the big show. Did you see what happened to the Angels odds, World Series odds?
Yeah, you texted me and I was like,
that's right. Yeah.
I was like, okay, that makes sense because they'll have the best player in baseball back.
They'll have the 2 best players in baseball.
Yeah, well, one will regress. We know Ohtani will regress.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true. We don't know. Don't know.
Honestly.
They'll have Rendon back. They have a great, Walsh is solid. They definitely upgraded their rotation.
But Thor has thrown two innings in the last 2 years.
Yeah. No, 3.
I like the guy, but that's a problem.
Yeah. Ohtani only had 3/4 of a season on the mound. You're bringing in Michael Lorenzen. No. Angels need to know. No. Offensively, yes. Pitching, no.
They might just be going all in on the whole 2-way player thing.
They could be. And then you got the A's who are, new management, probably going to sell some pieces before the season starts.
They're going to have a fire sale. Yeah.
Ends and
the A's are not going to contend this year. They're not. I don't think they're planning to contend. I think that's part of the reason Bob Melvin left. He's like, no, I'm done losing. I'm ready to win. That's why he went to San Diego, because they're ready to win right now.
Yeah.
So the A's will finish at the bottom of the division, 4th or 5th, I think.
Yeah, and the Astros will probably still be pretty good. They still have good pieces.
They have a lot of talent on that team.
They have a really young roster. They have a really young pitching staff. They have 2 pitchers who in back-to-back years have finished top 3 in Rookie of the Year.
Well, they're studs. They're young, but they're good.
They're really good. And then they got JV coming back. And
they're still going to have Altuve and Bregman, who
Yep.
are perpetual problems. And Kyle Tucker, man, like I've been talking about this guy for months now. Like he is a real problem. He might be the best player on that team this next year.
Yeah.
Because if you look at on Baseball Reference, behind Carlos Correa, Tucker had the highest WAR on that team last season.
Yeah, Tucker was insane. He's very,
So,
very good.
He
So it's
is
a two-way
incredibly
race
good.
between the Astros and the Mariners, honestly.
I think so. I really do think so.
And then there's a lot of talk of expanded playoffs. If the playoffs are officially expanded once the CBA deal happens, the Mariners are a lock. Like they're locked and loaded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no doubt, unless it's a catastrophic meltdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then,
and the only thing I can see happening with that is if they just like fold under pressure. But with what we saw last year with this team, the leadership that they have, and I know Kyle Seager's gone, but J.P. Crawford has really stepped up. Mitch Haniger has stepped up a lot because I remember him being kind of a non-vocal guy a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he first came over from Arizona.
Yeah, but since he's come back, he's really taken on a solid leadership role.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys are looking to him. And I think he'll be a big part of the success this year too, as long as
I think he'll be a big piece in with Kyle Lewis coming back.
Yes. Yeah,
I think
Kyle Lewis is another guy.
Huge for Kyle Lewis, being able to see Haniger come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the mindset that Lewis has already had to this point in having to fight through all these injuries in his young career.
Mm-hmm.
Him being able to see Haniger come back last year and just play healthy and have a full season and just do great.
Mm-hmm.
That's gotta, be like, okay, Mitch, like, give me some of your water.
Give me that Kool-Aid stuff.
Give me that Kool-Aid.
Yeah. But so we've touched on it a little bit, but before we get too deep into it, Jewell, I wanted to talk about some of the things that the Mariners do have this season. And it's actually a really good spot to talk about this because there's not going to be a CBA agreement. There's not going to be a deal reached. Chances are there's not going to be a deal reached when this episode drops on the 28th. So everything we talk about today, it's still going to be on pause when this episode drops.
True.
And potentially for several weeks. Sometimes we do these a few days before and there's like some major signing, which we're waiting for with the Mariners. And then everything's out of date and we have to do it again. But Anyway, as of now, what the Mariners have.
Yes, they have.
Give me some things the Mariners do have right now.
What the Mariners have right now is upside. Like, they have a rotation that's headlined by now Robbie Ray,
solid
Logan
pickup.
Gilbert, Marco Gonzalez, Chris Flexen, as one top tier guy.
Mm-hmm.
One top tier second year guy.
Yeah.
One probably third tier veteran guy. And then just an innings in Flexen.
Mm-hmm.
And then just more talent after that. Like it's Justin Dunn, Justice Sheffield. Like
I'm so out on Justice Sheffield, by the way.
Oh, me too.
Me
too.
So out. Put him in the bullpen.
Margatakis, they have like Sadler, they have Bush.
I'm all in on Sadler.
I
need Steckenrider back.
Yes.
I need Steckenrider.
I need Steckenrider and Sewald back.
Yes.
Oh, Sewald's still on the team.
He is. But Sadler, I need Sadler back too. But
no, Steckenrider's still on the 40. Steckenrider's on the 40.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking he's a free agent, but he's not. He's got one more year.
We got him. We still got him. And then we got probably one of the best framing catchers in baseball in Raleigh,
and this is the thing is I was really upset about his rookie season, this last year. I was really upset about the way he played because I know he's capable of so much more.
Yeah,
I feel like there were times he looked like a deer in headlights out there, and I wonder if the stage that first year was just really, really big for him.
Oh yeah,
he seems like a pretty mellow guy.
Yeah, for catchers that has to be crazy,
Yeah.
But one of the benefits that he has is that he's worked with a lot of the staff in the minor leagues that's coming up still.
Yeah, exactly.
He has so much experience with the guys we're going to see next year. And, why can't I think of the other?
Well, there's George Kirby and then
the other draft pick from a couple 2020.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But so I'm curious though. I do wonder if maybe they're going to make Cal pick a side of the plate batting.
They might. It might help them, but
I think it would. I think if they just said, just bat left-handed, we could use a lefty in the lineup. Just bat left-handed. I think it would benefit him because he's spending half the time in the cage, and then he can spend more time focusing on just that one side, reading pitching scouting reports and preparing for those at bats that we need him to hit a double.
That's a great point.
Perfectly capable of.
I mean, and then you have Tom Murphy. You have a great 1-2 there.
I don't like Tom Murphy.
Yeah, but veteran-wise,
he's a good veteran, but he's a good backup. He's a decent. I should say a decent backup. There were times I was ready for him to get cut last year because
I don't know why they kept Murphy over Nola over Narvaez. Why?
Probably nobody would take him. I mean, honestly, the Nola deal has ended up being really, really good for the Mariners because Nola. I think got DFA'd by the Padres last year. At one point,
they kept him all year.
Did they keep him? Because he didn't get DFA'd. He got pulled out of the starting spot. He's a backup.
Yeah, he got yanked. And then
but
around the infield, the Mariners have nothing but talent. They have J.P. Crawford.
Adam Frazier was a huge pickup.
Yeah, they have Ty France at first base, who should have been a Gold Glove finalist.
Should have been. Yeah,
wasn't, and then you still have Abraham Toro. You have Kevin Padlo.
He was kind of one of those. I don't want to say a player to be named later, but basically in one of the deals that the Mariners made.
He's all 40, and then you have Evan.
I have one. I have one for you, Jewell. Though, so I am a huge Abraham Toro fan.
Big time.
I was absolutely sold on that dude. I'm curious what the Mariners do with him because we talked about what they do have right around the infield. You've got a nearly Gold Glove first baseman who can hit. Ty France came through every time it mattered last year when they needed him. And then you've got Adam Frazier, all-star second baseman. J.P. Crawford, potentially an all-star shortstop. It's just shortstop is so deep. I have a hard time being he should have been on the all-star team. He had a great year, but I don't know.
He doesn't hit for power.
He doesn't, and the other shortstops do, and that's
the only thing that he doesn't have.
But then the gaping hole in the infield is third base now that Kyle Seager's retired. So, what do you do? Because Toro has the body of a third baseman. I'm sure he would be really, really, really good there. I like his bat. I like him defensively. He's outstanding. But you cannot put him in that spot and say we're good when Chris Bryant and Trevor Story and even Carlos Correa are on the market.
Yeah, you can't. You have to at least try for one of those. Well, Story said he's not going to change position. Correa's not going to change position. They already said JP's not going to change positions.
Right, yeah.
So only two guys they can bring in to play third base are Chris Bryant and Seiya Suzuki.
Is Suzuki a third? Can he play third base?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. And then you still have Evan White, who...
Evan White's got some proven to do, though.
A lot, but he does still have that long-term deal, so obviously there's something there. And when he was in the low minors, he did play third base a little bit, and in college.
Isn't he a lefty?
Yes, but lefties can play third.
Not on the big league level. You're not going to put a lefty at third base at the big league level. Come on, Jewell. That doesn't happen.
I would.
That's not going to happen.
I did it in MLB The Show.
It's a video game. They're not going to do it in the big leagues. Evan White is not going to play third base. If anything, he'll be a fifth outfielder and he'll play left field.
No, because you can't. Because you already have Jake Fraley, Mitch Haniger, Jared Kelenic, Kyle Lewis, Julio Rodriguez, Taylor Trammell, all on the 40-man roster still.
Taylor Trammell cannot stay in the bigs. He is a 4A all-star. Okay.
Yes. I agree.
I don't think he's going to be able to make it in the bigs. I love him to death. I wish he did, but I don't think it's going to happen. Jake Fraley has a hamstring that is like freaking raw spaghetti. I wish it wasn't. Again, a guy who came through sometimes when it mattered last year, but he kept getting hurt. He can't stay healthy. And then, I mean, we've got our Holy Trinity.
Stuck in third.
We've got
stuck in
AAA with Julio,
Kelenic,
Kalu,
Lewis,
and Kelenic, right? But then we've also got Haniger. And Haniger, I feel like you could almost put him at the DH spot. Like you could platoon him.
Please put Haniger at the DH so we don't have to see Luis Torrens there ever again.
Oh my gosh, I know. But like you could platoon Haniger and Kyle Lewis at the DH, because there's been a lot of talk about Kyle Lewis at the DH to keep him healthy.
Yep.
And then,
please.
If he's not DH and he's playing the outfield, flop those guys.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
So Evan White, I think, honestly, starts the season in AAA in the outfield.
Let's hope. I want the best for the guy because we did pay him so much money. He's a Gold Glove first baseman.
Mm-hmm. So, I know.
Like, the defense is there. Like, we definitely know how to pick our defensive first baseman.
Well, that was one thing that I remember Jerry DiPoto saying in like 2018. Like, Evan White is going to be a Gold Glove first baseman. He said it 2 years before it happened.
He in the minors, he was like the top rated like defensive first baseman.
Yeah.
Like, he's always been like the cream of the crop defensively. But yeah, the Mariners got a lot of goods. They got goods up and down, youth.
Yeah.
Youth, which, what do they need? So
really, like, for me, the big hole, like I said, is third base. And I want to see Chris Bryant at third base.
Yes, Chris Bryant, please.
That's who I want at third base.
Yes.
But if he decides not to, and like, I don't know, because there are guys in the Mariners organization, specifically like at the big league level, who know Chris Bryant personally, and they've been like recruiting him. Yes, Paul's been a big one for that.
Yeah, because he literally got Chris Bryant to switch colleges with him.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, that'd be awesome, because I would love to see Chris Bryant in a Mariners uniform. That would be outstanding to me. But if that doesn't happen, I do feel like you can do some angling and some switching around and move one of those guys to third base. Like, can Ty France play third base? He can,
but not
you don't
as
want
well.
him to?
No.
That's the trouble, though, because I want Ty France in the lineup, but also it's like, if Freddie Freeman's on the market,
or even Matt Olson's available to trade for.
Matt Olson, I don't know if I would necessarily trade, because if you don't have to trade, I don't think you do, because the A's are going to want prospects, right?
Oh yeah, but it's not like we don't have guys who at this point we can say they're a prospect. Like, throw Evan White, Justin Sheffield, Justin Dunn, throw those three in the deal, ship them out because they'll want big league talent still.
That's true. But the problem is,
just how the A's are.
So this is the thing, though, is that Evan White, Justice Sheffield, and Justin Dunn, they don't fit into the Moneyball model, because you can't take their stats and plug and play them into being able to quantify what they're going to do for your team, because they're unpredictable.
Yeah.
And B, like, Justice Sheffield just flat out wasn't good last year.
No, none of them were. Well, they were all hurt, but
right. Justin Dunn was hurt for I think a lot longer than what was led on, but Justice Sheffield was not good, and I was like so frustrated with him, because he was basically grooving pitches last year, is what it felt like. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, do you want to play Major League Baseball?
Yeah, no, yeah,
it was so frustrating to watch him. But no, so like, at first base, though, like, and then even there's Anthony Rizzo, right? Freddie Freeman and Anthony Rizzo are on the market.
It's
and
hard.
If you can get one of those guys, I feel like you've got to finagle some stuff to bring in an all-star.
Rizzo, Freeman, like, there's guys that you can bring in who have the championship experience, which, that's what I feel like the biggest hole is like, we need someone who's one or two guys that have been there, that have been in those big moments, that even just know how to talk to the young guys about being in those moments.
Yep.
When it matters most, because that's what it came down to, is that when it came down to those final games, they just didn't know how to play in those big moments.
Yep, because there was nobody on the roster who knew.
There's nobody, and and for me, I think that's twofold. We definitely need someone in the field or in the dugout, but we also need someone in the bullpen. We also need a veteran in the bullpen, in the pitching staff, like.
And so that's where I was going to go next, the pitching staff. Okay, so we gave 4 starters, right? We had 4 solid starters right there who were ready to go. Who would you want as your 5th starter for this season?
On like who the roster is or who's available?
Who's available? Like if the Mariners were signing a free agent
left on the roster right now.
No. You got to get a 5th starter.
I honestly would love a guy like Johnny Cueto. Just, personality, the swagger, the unpredictability. Just he's fun to watch, even though he's like in his late 30s.
Yeah,
he's entertaining, and like he brings entertainment. He brings veteran. He's won rings, right? Like
didn't he win with the Giants, or did he win?
Yeah,
with because he was with. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was he with the Royals at one point?
Yeah, no, he was. I'm pretty sure he was the ace of that Royals championship.
I think you're right. I'm looking it up real quick right
2015,
now.
Yep, with the Royals.
Okay. Yeah,
But
that's
15
what I
was the Royals, like, hurrah with Hosmer and Cueto. And then
he came over
left,
from Cincinnati partway through the season.
Okay, yeah, and then he went on to win. But, this is a guy with 12, 14 years of experience.
Well, and this is the thing, too, is that Jerry DiPoto loves him some Johnny Cueto. Mm-hmm. I've heard him talk about how he loves that he mixes up his windup so much that's like a really big deal with him. And I could see him bringing him in and being like, you know what, just mentor these guys. Just teach them how to mix it up. Teach them what it means to keep hitters off balance, what they need to do, how they can work on these things.
And remember, Felix said, like, that's what they wanted Cliff Lee to come in and do when they brought in Lee.
Instead, Cliff Lee goes, you guys are doing it all wrong. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like if you bring Cueto in, end of his career, Lee still had a lot of good years left.
Cueto, he did.
Cueto doesn't.
No, he doesn't. But he is still a novelty in the league, right?
Yeah.
As far as pitching goes, I think he is still well respected. Like,
and
one thing that's crazy to me is that, like, last year, I think I saw something that he had thrown 70 some odd pitches from the windup with nobody on base in a game, and he threw with 74 different motions. That his whatever he was doing with his rock and whatever.
Yeah, he does. Different on, he literally does something pitch. Every pitch, and I don't know. I love me some Johnny Cueto. I think Cueto is like the guy. He's the guy I want to come in and be part of this staff. Don't bring anyone else back. We don't want.
What do you think about bringing back Tyler Anderson though? If like all else fails,
okay, yeah.
What do you think if they were like Tyler Anderson, come back and be our fourth starter?
Yes, because Tyler Anderson had the energy. He had the want. He had the competitiveness. Like, he was saying, put me out there on 3 days rest. Put me out there on 4 days rest. Like, I want to win. I just came from the Pirates. Now I'm here. I have a chance. I want this. I want to help this team. I love this team. Mm-hmm. And now he has his old teammate in house too.
Well, and the thing that's funny is that Tyler Anderson was pitching during the Javi Baez debacle last year. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
That, Tyler Anderson was pitching when Javi Baez got in a pickle between home and first, and then Adam Frazier was the one who the catcher threw behind when he threw the ball into right field, and Baez ended up at second base.
And that.
They know bad baseball. So I would think that they're like, super motivated to play on a winning team.
Yeah. I mean, I could even, say that, and, a Kwang Hung Kim.
Yes.
Would be nice. He's solid.
Guy I saw. Yeah.
Zach Greinke's still out there. He hasn't retired yet, but he's going to go to a contender. Like, I can see him going back to LA or.
What about, I like Greinke. I don't need him though on the Mariners this year because he's not going to be a vocal leader. I want a vocal leader if I'm going to bring in a veteran for that fifth spot.
Yeah. I mean, there's Pineda, and then
I want Pineda.
The biggest guy that's out there is, probably Rodon.
What do you think what about Clayton Kershaw?
I don't think he would come to Seattle.
I don't think he would either, but would you take him?
Oh, 100%. Like, I would definitely take the best regular season starting pitcher of all time.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I feel like he has enough postseason experience too that he would be just unreal for that team. Like, he would be like the grandpa in the clubhouse. And I know he's like not that old, but as far as the experience he has,
he's old.
He would be like the oracle in the clubhouse.
Oh yeah, he would be like what Adrian Peterson was to the Seahawks.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what he would be. And I would pay good money for that as the Mariners.
Yeah, because that's a 1 year commitment.
Yeah. So, okay, I have a DH for you. What about Kyle Schwarber? I know he's not, I know he would never come to Seattle, but
No.
what do you
Yes.
would you take him though?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The Bombs. I would take him. I would 100% take him back. Oh, I would take him. I would take him. No hesitation.
I would too. Like there's a lot there, and I would take all of it.
Oh
Absolutely,
yeah.
100%.
Well, anyone from that Braves outfield this last year, that's all free agents now.
I know, and my favorite guy, I would take Eddie Rosario any day of the week. Like Soler hit that bomb, but I think Eddie Rosario is the guy that I would want out of that group.
Yeah, I could take
But at
Rosario.
the same time, we've gone through the outfield. We've talked about the outfield. That's the last place the Mariners need to be bringing anybody in.
No, they need to bring in Seiya Suzuki just for the name and for the Japanese culture, and just because we had the last great Suzuki, we need the next one.
We did,
too.
yeah. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here. Let's get wrapping up here in a couple minutes. Correct me if I'm wrong though, but did I see something that said that Seiya Suzuki is supposed to be better than Ichiro?
Yes,
That's
because he hits for power and he plays multiple positions.
So it's because he actually will hit for power, because we all know Ichiro had the power. You know, he had the leverage. Like he knew the leverage to hit for
if
power.
he wanted to. Anytime Ichiro wanted to hit a home run,
he did.
He hit a double.
Well, I feel like when he really wanted to hit a home run, he did. Like that last time when I can't remember who he was playing for. Was he playing? I don't think it was the Marlins, but whoever it was it was potentially his last at bat at Safeco before they changed.
When he was with the
T-Mobile,
Yankees.
he hit that home. Yeah, and he hit that home run. You know what I'm talking about? And I actually wrote, like, I was doing a different blog way back then, and I wrote a blog post about how Ichiro, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
he wanted to hit a home run and potentially his last at bat, so he did.
Yeah, and it's just like when Bonds was around. You know, if he wanted to hit a home run, or if Hank Aaron wanted to hit a home run,
Hank Aaron called his record-breaking home run before he went out to the out on
those
deck.
guys, you know, Jim Tomei, like those guys, they knew stepping up. They're like, hey, I'm gonna go hit a home run.
Yeah, there are some guys who can truly do it. I believe
like
Ichiro is one of them.
Shohei's one of them.
He's definitely one of them.
Tatis is one of them. You know,
I don't know about Tatis. I feel like sometimes he gets a little wound up.
I want Juan Soto. I still want Juan Soto.
I would pay. So we have our group chat, right?
Yep.
And I would absolutely 100% of the time, if Scott Boras came to Seattle and told Jerry DiPoto, my boy wants $500 million over 15 years. How old is he? He's 25.
Take my money.
Give it
Take
to
my
me.
money.
Yeah,
DiPoto's like,
right now.
Say less.
That's $33 million a year is all. That's going to be a bargain by the time he's 38.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be a steal for him.
And he's in the AL at that point too.
Well, I mean, we're going to have universal DH anyway, so it doesn't matter where he goes. He's going to go to the DH by the time, next year or whatever. But no, his swing is going to age so well though, because of how he sprays the ball, that he doesn't rely on pulling the ball to hit home runs. That
just like
as
Harper.
he ages, those home runs are going to turn into doubles, and I'm like, all day, baby, let's take that.
I mean, look at what Harper did. He's had so many years between his 2 MVPs, and he stayed the same. His swing is just. I love Bryce Harper's swing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Bryce.
Everything about his swing, yeah,
for sure. But no, so Seiya Suzuki, I think would be. I mean, he's like the answer, right? Like the hole that the Mariners have, like it's.
He can fill all of it. He can literally, except he can't pitch, but that's fine.
The only thing that he can't do is the veteran presence, which is something that we both really want too. But that's the conundrum.
Yeah, right? But he also has the, championship pedigree from playing in Japan.
It's different though. It's different. It's not the World Series.
No, it's not. But it's like their highest level of championship, and
that's fine. But at the same time, though, like
then there's a language barrier, and
well, right. But so okay, last thing here before we wrap it up, I have a scenario for you. If let's say the Mariners sign Chris Bryant the day the CBA is signed. The CBA is signed. 2 hours later, the Mariners sign Chris Bryant. And then it comes down to, okay, we've got a third base. We've got the whole third base filled. We've got depth there as well, because we got Abraham Toro, who now is going to be the backup to the entire infield pretty much.
And Dylan Moore.
Gosh, I wish that guy could hit, man. Like, so bad. But anyway, I digress. So now the question is, do we want Seiya Suzuki?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But do we want him if it means we don't see J-Rod for another year or two, or he potentially gets traded for a slew of prospects?
Yeah,
Is
but
that something
at
you're
the
willing
same
to do?
time, like, you know that Kyle Lewis is coming back. You know he's going to be limited. You know that Kyle Lewis is going to be limited. You know Kellenick is primed to break out after what we saw at the tail end of the season.
Yeah, he ought to be.
But you know that there's still a slight caution with Haniger. And you know Depoto's going to get his guys reps. Like,
Well, he understands the
Depoto,
importance of
Servius.
reps.
Like, you know that they're going to get all these guys, the right guys in at the right times. You know they're going to play it right.
It gets to be really sticky, though. It's really crowded in that outfield. So
yeah, but then I mean, you have the DH, you have the universal DH, which is like huge because
right. Yeah,
then you can interchange that outfield.
And you don't have to worry about it in the national, like going to national league parks anymore. Like when they go to San Diego, like they don't have to worry about it anymore. No. But it does get to be a little bit of a problem when it's that crowded. I think at that point, though, you bring them all in, you sort it out, and you trade Fraley and Trammell for pitching prospects or for either a bullpen or a starter.
Yeah, you clear out every other guy on the 40-man roster that's not Seiya, Haniger, the Holy Trinity. Like, you clear everybody else out.
You have to. It's just so crowded. It's crazy, man.
Just like you bring in a veteran pitcher, like you clear out Sheffield, done. Yeah. You bring in a veteran bullpen piece, you clear out, you know.
Yeah.
You trade the guys that we have with experience and you clear them out and you're like, sorry.
Yeah. It's going to be a frenzy, though. As soon as that deal's signed, like it is going to be a frenzy. It's going to be crazy to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
But baseball family in Seattle, let us know what you think about the Mariners this season. Are we being overly optimistic? I honestly don't think we are after what we saw last year. I think the Mariners will do a little bit better. So last year they won 90 games, finished with a .555 winning percentage. I think it bumps up. Like if we get a full season, I could see them winning 93, 94 games, which is about a .580 winning percentage. I think it's going to be. It's going to.
I'm thinking they're about 60, 62.
Yeah.
Like I know that's advantageous, but I mean Robbie Ray, you know, the health of the outfield. Mm-hmm. You know, filling those holes is going to be huge, but I think Dipoto already has a plan in place.
Yeah.
Like
I think he does too.
You know, every single GM has, as soon as that deal's signed, they already have their trades like lined up. You know, they've been talking about it while they're at the meetings already.
They have been. Yeah. Well, especially since they can't do anything, but they're front office guys, right? So they're not like it's not like they're part of the union.
Yeah.
Just like all the owners can talk.
Yeah, they can talk and they just can't put anything on paper, but they can be like
finalize anything. But yeah, they've been talking.
But they're like, hey, what if let's talk about this? You know, once this thing's signed, and you know they're talking, you know, once it's signed. Because you know that's what what the owners are talking about.
They want to hit the ground running because they only have so much time to do things. So they'll
literally have a week to get guys in the door.
Yeah.
If it's signed Monday, they have a week to get all these guys in the door at camp.
Yep.
COVID tested through protocols, like.
Yep, exactly. From all over the globe, for sure.
Yeah.
That's 100%. But let us know what you think. Hop on baseballtogether.com and click the link in the navigation, submit to the mailbag. And you can either drop down to Seattle Baseball Together to submit directly to us, or just send it the way that, because it all comes to me anyway. So send us your questions, comments, concerns, snide remarks, whatever you want to send our way. We'll give you a shout out on the podcast as well. Don't forget to follow at baseball, the number 2 together on Twitter. We're pretty active there. We're also on Instagram at baseball together. But don't forget to check out the big show as well on Tuesdays, where I co-host that with our guy Brig. And Jewell, let them know where they can find you.
And you guys can find me at theballboyblog.com. You guys can find me on the Twitter at ballboyblog. You can find me on IG at theballboyblog. You can find the Facebook just by typing in ballboyblog. Pretty consistent across everywhere. I've also started to get more active on Twitter just because it's actually kind of fun.
Twitter is fun. It's also a
too much
cesspool.
fun. It is.
That's part of what makes it fun, though.
And definitely go check out that Baseball Together because there are a couple very exciting episodes coming up in the next week or two.
There are. I'm very excited about them for sure.
There's some ruffling in the bushes.
A tease. And with that, baseball family, we will catch you next month.